Are you looking to level up your writing after you have become an absolute expert in it? My name is Gina. I am an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. And I have some absolutely devastating news for you. You are going to need to be brave enough to suck at something new. It is entirely possible that you might tap into some previously untapped potential and you might discover a hidden skill for something that you have not done before. But the overwhelming chance here is that if you are trying to develop new skills, if you are trying to level up, it means that you're going to have to test a bunch of previously untested skills, which means you're going to suck at something new. That is hard for everyone, but it is especially difficult for people who are already really, really good at something. If you have written 45 books and you have done this on a professional level, then you are like the Michael Jordan of writing books, right? Like you are very, very good at the thing that you are doing. You now have to go start over and play volleyball instead of basketball. There are some transferable skills, of course, but you are basically starting over. You're going to have to learn a whole bunch of new stuff. This might mean something as simple as trying a new genre, trying a new category, trying a new structure, something that you haven't done before. If you are 45 books deep, though, I think you probably have done all of those things. Which means my next piece of advice is that you're going to look for a new medium to write in. And you're going to say, Gina, that is a total waste of time. I don't want to be writing screenplays. I want to be a better novelist. This is going to be a waste of my time. And here is where I remind you that all writing is good writing. Nothing is a waste of your time. But also, we are looking to develop skills that you have previously not developed. Let's look at the example of a novelist and a screenplay writer. So a screenplay doesn't have nearly as much prose on the page. There is not nearly as much information in regards to setting and facial expressions and interiority for your characters. In fact, there's very little interiority for your characters specifically on the page. You have to convey all of that information through basically dialogue blocking and some very, very sparse set direction. Because a screenplay relies on a whole lot of other people to bring that story to life. There are costume designers and set designers and cinematographers and photographers and directors and actors and all of these people who play into the creative vision of bringing that story to life. And so if a writer really wants something specific to be happening, they have to be very precise in the language that they are using. Novelist doesn't have that same limitation. Novelist is able to rely on the dialogue beats and the action beats. They are able to rely on metaphor and the way that a character interacts with the setting. They're able to rely on all of this other set dressing in order to convey the message that they are trying to convey. By putting some limitations on yourself and by forcing yourself to work in this new medium, you are going to develop and hone and sharpen some skills that you might have been allowing to languish in other ways. Let's say you've been writing a lot of romances, and so you've also been reading a lot of romances. If you now go out and try to write a buddy cop story and you realize, like, hey, wait a second, this is describing a relationship and intimacy in a way that I have been trying to describe, but they're doing it without all of the physical intimacy, without all of the hugging and kissing and all of those things. They are describing intimacy and they are describing a relationship arc without some of the tools that you've been relying on up to this point. You are going to get better at writing intimacy and at writing a relationship arc once you are able to come back and integrate that into the skills that you've been using otherwise. You can try putting some artificial constraints on yourself, like word count, and say that every single story you write is going to be under 50,000 words or over 150,000 words without having any bloat, and you're going to start to stretch some muscles that you have previously not stretched before. But it is going to hurt, it is going to be uncomfortable, and it is scary. Not a lot of people who are very good at what they do want to start over and be bad at something for a while.